India has marked its second ODI victory in this World Cup, and right now we are here with Pratyay Tiwari to discuss about the same. Pratyay, courtesy to Rohit Sharma's inning, we have seen such a great win for India. And remind you this that this guy, Rohit Sharma, particularly, he was dropped from the 2011 World Cup squad, and afterwards he made a comeback. Now we see him as the captaining the side of India, and now scoring a century at such a big stage. And now he has thrashed a lot of records in front of the Delhi public, especially because it was like a great score. It was like a great innings from his side, and it felt like completely India was ruling it and dominating Afghanistan all over the park. I would like to know your opinion on this. Like, how happy are you to see Rohit Sharma back in the form?
Well, it's a very, very big win, and it's always good when your captain contributes like that, leading from the front. He really finished off the game in the first 10 overs because the target wasn't really a huge one. I felt Afghanistan were 30 shots, 30 or 40 shot, I think. But
Mhm.
the manner in which they batted, the manner in which India batted, I don't think that even chasing 350 or 370 would have been a problem. So I think overall a very convincing victory. And yes, of course, Rohit Sharma, one of the best in the business right now. You know that he's an absolute legend in white ball cricket. And 2011 World Cup, yes, of course, long back. But we saw what he has done in 2019 World Cup. Completely a chart-topping performance, 5 centuries, and now that he has gotten another one, surpassing Sachin Tendulkar's record for most centuries in the ODI World Cup. So I think a very dominating performance, 8-wicket victory. 13 overs to spare, so it does a lot of good to your net run rate as well. And I
Mhm.
think before the Pakistan game, it was very important for India to secure a good win, a big win, because this does a lot of good to your confidence. Because Pakistan themselves will be riding high on the victory they got against Sri Lanka. So I think
Right.
this now just adds up to the atmosphere. It's not a game which needs any build up because it's always so hyped, India versus Pakistan. But now I think that both the teams taking the winning momentum adds to the glory of that match again a little bit more.
Definitely, and a lot of people also saying like, yeah, this 100 is on Delhi's track, which is a flat track, and we don't consider this at that big of a ground. But definitely, an international 100 is an international 100, and we all know how impactful it is, especially today because like today, when Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan came into the bat, it was like not that big of a score, but definitely this is something which Indian batting can really take it up. Like जो ओपनिंग पार्टनरशिप है वहीं इस गेम को एंड कर सकता है if they really play well, and that's how they did it. Like Ishan Kishan went on to score 47 runs, which was like he was nearing his 50, and afterwards Virat Kohli came into the picture. Then he scored a half century as well, and afterwards we see Shreyas Iyer once Rohit Sharma scored 130 runs approx out of the park. But this is like something very special in because it has also the fastest ODI 100 in the history of cricket as well in terms of World Cup, because he has taken just 63 balls to complete this 100, which is immense because we have seen greats of the game playing this game already, and this one is the fastest. This must be very special century for Rohit Sharma as well.
Definitely, Ratsi, because he missed out in the previous game. It was a big opportunity for him because Australia, it's always a massive contender. And going out for a duck, of course, that kind of seeps a little bit of doubt in your mind right at the start of the tournament. So it was very important for Rohit to just get back amongst the runs, see, because he is someone over close to 10,000 runs in the format. So we know that he is someone who knows how to score runs. He's someone who knows how to get these centuries. But still,
Hmm.
you have to get the runs. You still have to get the runs consistently to stay on top of your game, to stay confident. And I think the hunger showed in him because after missing out in the previous game, the hunger was very clear. The intent was very clear. The manner in which he batted, taking the Afghanistan bowlers to the cleaners. I think some tactical miss from Afghanistan as well, because I really felt that they could have perhaps introduced Rashid Khan earlier into the attack because he's your top bowler. And
Right.
by the time he was introduced in the 14th or 15th over, India were already close to 120 for no loss. So when it's almost like 50% of the target has already been chased inside the 15 overs. So India were really dominant. But take nothing away from Rohit Sharma. The manner in which he batted, the traditional pull shots, very strong on the leg side, on the offside as well. Some great drives on the offside. So I think all in all, he looked in a really good headspace. And right from the word go, that desire to win the match quickly or just put the runs quickly looked inside him. And Ishan Kishan, I think, yes, you can say that 47 run a ball, but I think in the previous game, since he also bagged a duck, it was important
Hmm.
for him as well to get those runs up and get those ball hitting the bat, because that is what gives you confidence. He could have
Right.
perhaps scored 10 runs in 2 balls or 3 balls, and if he would have gotten out, it wouldn't have given him that much of a feel and the environment of the game. So spending out time in the middle, close to 1.5 hours, it just gives you, puts you in your game kind of a zone. So I think good on him, because he was taking the back seat, because the manner in which Rohit was playing, you yourself wouldn't want to take too much strike off him, because when he plays like that, you have the best seat in the house at the non-strikers end. So I think Kishan, of course, would have
Definitely.
enjoyed that knock, and I think really, really dominant performance. And the runs for Virat Kohli as well. He's coming after a sensational performance against Australia, match winning 85, 55
Hmm.
here again. So I think India will be in very, very good stead now, going for the big game, the biggest of games, I think, arguably the biggest one, against Pakistan in Ahmedabad. They will go really high on confidence now.
Definitely, being a Rohit Sharma fan, I'm just trying to hold my horses to not talk about him much, because you get these chances to talk about it and then you overdo it. But I see Virat Kohli also, when this match started off. So people were like, it's going to be Naveen Ulak versus Virat Kohli. People are going to chant about Virat Kohli, which we saw. Definitely, Delhi people will not leave Naveen Ulak like this. But we saw them handshakes as well. Like, you must have seen them, Virat Kohli and Naveen Ulak. They have had a handshake, and it was like nothing has really happened. It's like pretty beautiful between them, and they were like very chill with this. But do you see there was some kind of tiff tap, or it was just like, no, no, it's completely fine, we're out of it?
See, I think it's good. It's good that they sorted out the differences, because you want rivalries. There's no doubt about that, and we, as fans, as spectators, we enjoy that as well. But you
Hmm.
want cricketing rivalries a little bit more than these kind of heated ones. So I think it's good to see them shaking hands. It's good to see them sorting out their differences that originated in the IPL. And I think the crowd was rightly behind Virat Kohli, playing at his home ground, in front of a ground where he has started playing his cricket, a city where he is born and brought up in. So of course, the crowd would have backed him anywhere, irrespective of even the venue, because wherever he goes, he has all the support of India. And playing in Delhi, of course, it was kind of bound to happen that the crowd will get behind him. But I still
Hmm.
feel it's a good thing. It was very heartening to see that little bit of an embrace between the two, and
Hmm.
it's a competitive game, and cricketers, we know that they ride high on emotions. Us sitting outside, we are not even in the match, we are not even in that environment, we start to get fed up, we start to get, we feel emotional when someone scores a century, or we get annoyed or irritated when the player that we want to watch out for does not perform. So I understand the intensity, the emotions that ride through the players who are in that environment and who are in that atmosphere, all those expectations riding on their backs, knowing that the people outside want them to perform and want them to do things. So in those moments, of course, these kind of things can happen, a little bit of disagreements and all of that. But it wasn't really a very pleasant sight when all that happened, when all that transpired between RCB and LSG. It wasn't really
Yeah.
a very pleasant sight. But today it was absolutely the opposite, and I think everyone, including Naveen and Virat himself, would be very happy about how things went on today.
Right, right. Definitely. It is going to be, after all, a good game of cricket. That's what we expect out of these two players, and that's we get to see from them. But if you talk about the bowling side of Afghanistan and India both, even from Indian side as well, we saw Kuldeep Yadav and Ravin Jadeja getting, like, they were like getting irritated out of the pitch, because they were not getting much out of the pitch as well. They were not getting those turns which they are known for. If you talk about their numbers as well, we can see Kuldeep Yadav has played 10 overs, Ravin Jadeja has played 8 overs, and then Kuldeep gave 40 runs, 38 runs by Ravin Jadeja. Only Kuldeep got a wicket, and Jadeja was without a wicket. So it is frustrating for both of them. But if we talk about Afghanistan spinners, they were also frustrated. They were also not getting anything. But Rashid Khan is one person. He has something to get out of the pitch. So if you rate the spin department of both the teams, who played better? Is it India or Afghanistan?
I think it wasn't really that kind of a track, Ratsi, that we saw in the Sri Lanka South Africa game where 750 plus was scored, because this was more of a very placid sort of a track. There wasn't much assistance for even the pacers or even the spinners. So it came down to how much were you able to use your variations and your skill set. Because when you do not get that much assistance from the pitch, then all that you can do is use your variations and use your canny ability to do something out of the ordinary. Because if you're getting a turn, if you're getting grip, then of course you become more lethal. Or if you're getting seam or swing in the air, then of course it becomes easy for you to operate. But today wasn't that case. So I think India were really good with the ball, because Jasprit Bumrah, you have to give him a lot of credit. 4 wickets. As I said, on this track, it wasn't the best of tracks to bowl. and in the Delhi heat, because yes, we are in October, but still the heat has been quite relentless. So I think for a fast bowler to bowl in that manner and getting wickets in two spells of his, couple of lower down the order wickets, Zadran and
Hmm.
Najibullah and Rashid Khan and the likes of them. And I think overall, the manner in which Kuldeep and Jadeja even bowled, that was pretty good, because they showed, of course, it can get a little frustrating when you don't get those many wickets. There was a good partnership which was built in between the Hashmatullah Shahidi and Omar Zai as well. So that was a period in which Indians were looking slightly down and out. But then Hardik Pandya struck, and you saw that animated reaction from him, because the irritation can pile up a little bit when you don't get wickets for too long in the heat. So it can get piled up. And with the ball, I think Afghanistan, they really did not turn up too much, because it was in that kind of a zone Rohit Sharma was in. It becomes really, really hard to stop when he is in that kind of a mood. It becomes almost impossible for him to be stopped. But still,
Hmm.
Rashid Khan managed to get his wicket, but not before getting a good thwacking out of him, because he took him for, I guess, three boundaries and a six in one over. So yeah,
Right.
Rohit Sharma did his damage before Rashid responded. Overall, I think India were a little better with the ball. Of course, the fact that they were able to restrict Afghanistan to under 275.
Hmm.
I think it did not look like that kind of a track where you would not be able to score 300. I still felt that Afghanistan should have got at least 300, if not more.
Hmm.
They should have gotten 300. So I think those 30-40 runs, the strike rate of the middle order not being up to the mark, and that partnership was slightly slow. 120 odd of, I think, 128, 130 deliveries could have been quicker. In that case, perhaps Afghanistan would have gotten a few more runs, but I still think India were quite better. And not to forget the fact that once the lights were on, and there was a bit of dew as well, because we saw that players had their towels out and they were trying to dry the ball and rub a little bit of mud on it. So I think because of all that, it became slightly easier to bat. And anyway, when Rohit Sharma is in full flow, he can make batting look the easiest thing in the world. So I think
Right.
overall, India also got the better conditions to bat in, and I think that also goes on to show in the margin of victory. 13 overs to spare is a massive, massive victory.
This is going to help us in a net run rate as well, because another is also important where you get to see your eye, because you're in a championship. You never know when it is going to affect or not. And let's take a look at the social tracker as well, because people are going crazy over what Rohit Sharma has did today. So people have been tweeting about his innings. Let's take a look at the first tweet. Irfan Batan said, Rohit Sharma is in dangerous form. Such a pleasure to watch him bat. And definitely we all know it was such a pleasure to see all those shots out of his bat. Mohammad Kavis said, greatest six hitter, entertainer, match winner, record breaker. Rohit Sharma is a modern day great. And definitely, whenever it's his day, we all know what you're gonna see कि बहुत ही अच्छे अच्छे reactions देखने को मिलते हैं, what how people and how fans and how cricketers are going to react over it, and this is one of them. Now let's take a look at another tweet. So it is on. Wait a minute, UG Chahal, the Hitman Show. He has also tweeted, Pratyay, which means everything is like good between them, because UG Chahal was one player whom we all were missing out of the score, and we thought it might be something bitter between them, because they share a really good friendship between UG and Rohit Sharma itself. But अभी ये जो tweet है ये दर्शाता है कि he is the loudest cheerer of Team India from the televisions. Maybe he must be seeing the innings. He's really happy about the captain and the way he is scoring. Do you see everything is great between them?
Yes, it's always. I think they are great, great friends. You can see that camaraderie between them off the field as well, on the field as well. Great, great buddies, I think. And I think, yes, of course, Yuzvendra Chahal would be disappointed, because you want when it's a home World Cup, and he has been slightly unlucky when it comes to selections, because he's often the guy on whom the axe falls upon. So I think
Yeah.
he would be disappointed, no doubt, because he's a champion bowler. But I think we have discussed it so many times that if you are a selector, if you are a team
Hmm.
management guy, you have to choose your best 15. And I think what India would have seen is that they have to get those best 15, and perhaps Yuzvendra Chahal somewhere down the line wasn't able to get into that 15, or he wasn't a part of those 15 in their minds. Part of it comes down to the fact that he does not contribute that much with the bat. And Rohit, and under Rohit and Rahul Dravid, we have seen that they have emphasized a lot on having a deeper batting lineup. That is the reason that you even see Mohammad Shami, someone of his caliber. Imagine being Mohammad
Hmm.
Shami and sitting out on the bench, because anywhere in the world, if you had a bowler like Shami, you would have him in your 11 365 days of the year. But here in
Definitely.
India, you have to compromise on that front because you want your batting depth to be increased. So today as well, you saw that Shardul Thakur, when Ashwin went out, you brought in a Shardul Thakur to extend your batting lineup. Of course, it
Hmm.
did not the manner in which Rohit batted, and even Virat Kohli and Ishan Kishan, it did not give him an opportunity to come out with the bat. But on days like what happened with Australia, suddenly you are down 2 for 3. And in that case, it is better for you to have an additional batter who can maybe give you 40-50 runs, because in crunch games, even those make a difference. Even 10 runs can make a difference. So I think because of that, Chahal somewhere down the line is slightly unlucky, and he does not get into the scheme of things, because even after the injury scare to Akshar Patel, there was no chance. It was always going to be Ashwin. So he was never in consideration in all. He was never in
Hmm.
consideration. But I think he would, of course, be a happy man because he plays other formats for the team, and bilateral games he is always a part of the team. And no matter what, even if you are sitting outside, you still want your team to do well. You won't want the team to lose because you're part of it. You of course want them to win. So I think he
Right.
would be happy, of course, as is every Indian, because it's a good start. It's a very, very positive start
Hmm.
against Australia. Yes, there was a bit of a hiccup, but then the manner in which KL and Kohli batted, match-winning partnership between them, taking away the game, and today it was very, very convincing, very dominating. And I think Pakistan on to next. I think if they can win that game, three on the bounce, that would be really, really a great start. And because they are the favorites, everyone is talking about that India being the host home World Cup, the drought of ICC trophies lasting since 2013. So there are plenty of things they would be running on the players' minds. They can come and say in the press conferences that we don't think about all these things, but still, as players, if as fans we think about these things, they are the ones who are representing the country. So
Right.
somewhere down the line, you will feel कि यार इतने समय से हमारी trophy नहीं आ रही है. We are the ones who have to do it this time because it's the
Hmm.
best chance for you to do it. This is your home World Cup, your home conditions. Because if this time Rajsi India misses out, you really don't
Yeah.
know when is that trophy coming back home again. This time it's
Right.
not even the trophy has not even to be brought to home. It is in your home. You have to
In
just
your home.
secure it. You have to just
Yeah.
keep it in India. So I think good start to the tournament for India, and a very big game for them against Pakistan next. Let's see how that one goes.
बस यही बातें हैं जो आपको इतना होपफुल कर देती हैं कि जब बाद में कभी कुछ अगर हो जाता है, जो भगवान ना करे हो, बिकॉज़ धोनी हैज़ सेड कुछ मत बोलो जब तक कुछ ना हो, जब तक हम सबको जो चाहिए वो ना मिल जाए तब तक कुछ मत बोलो. So yeah, definitely, but it gives you that hope कि okay, this is the best shot you can ever have, because in recent time में जब से हमने देखा for 2011 वर्ल्ड कप, इंडिया ने अब इसको जाकर के होस्ट किया आईसीसी ट्रॉफी को. दिस इज समथिंग वी रियली वांट एंड वी आर too ready for it. And if you talk about the team combination, जैसे कि अभी हम लोग बात कर ही रहे थे for UG Chahal and stuff, so I feel like sometimes कि this impact player का जो role था ना IPL में, this is something which is very much required now for Team India, specifically in ICC tournaments, because we have these many players. We have Mohammad Shami who's sitting outside. We have Ravi Ashwin who misses out today. We have UG Chahal who can't be even part of the squad. So we don't know how to use them, how to utilize them, because we don't have space, and ultimately you can only go with 11 players into the field. So I think this impact there is something which India team really wants. I don't know about other teams, but definitely for India team. But ठीक है, जो हो नहीं सकता उसके बारे में बात नहीं करते, but जो हो गया है उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. देखते हैं रोहित शर्मा की सेंचुरी के ऊपर और कौन से रिएक्शंस हैं जिन्होंने आज सोशल मीडिया का ट्रेंड बदला. सो देखते हैं अगला ट्वीट. So this is on dropped from 2011 squad fitness trolls. Now Rohit Sharma has most hundreds in the World Cup. The redemption is what we talk about. Now, if we take another look, then Suresh Raina ka yahan par tweet. What a spectacular moment to witness, Rohit Sharma. You have done it again with a brilliant century, and the partnership with Ishan Kishan is pure magic. Keep making us proud, boys. Let's take a look at another tweet. So it is Sunil Gavaskar in commentary. He said, "You will never see Virat Kohli playing these big shots many times, especially when the scoring rate is already too high," which is basically on Rohit Sharma. So we all know this combination which players goes by. It is like if one person is scoring, the other person keeps the strike rotation so that the other person who is on the scoring end, who is actually hitting the big shots, could really get to score more runs. And definitely, this is what we see because Virat Kohli, आज he came, he saw Rohit Sharma scoring. He was already in awe of the way Rohit Sharma was scoring. So he was just giving him, keep on giving him strike. And afterwards, when he got out, then only Virat Kohli started scoring. वरना तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो सेंचुरी अपनी हाफ सेंचुरी के बारे में भी सोच रहे थे कि मुझे कुछ 50 प्लस रन बनाना है. रिक्वायर्ड ही नहीं है यार, because there's already one guy who's hitting big sixes, who's hitting all the runs which is required, and he's just being there supporting him. And that's what we see in the big players like Virat Kohli doing it, because he's something he really wants Team India to win, and that's how he appreciates whenever Rohit Sharma scores a century. And today as well, we saw his reaction. Now let's take a look at another tweet. So the tweet is about again Rohit Sharma, 12 fastest century for India in ODI World Cup. Now we can see 63 ball 100 for Rohit Sharma, 81 ball इसके पहले वीरेंद्र सहवाग लगा चुके हैं सेंचुरी. नंबर 3 पर आती है 83 बॉल सेंचुरी by विराट कोहली. नंबर 4 पर 84 balls by सचिन तेंदुलकर, one of the greatest ever. आई एम रोहित शर्मा. एंड हमने आज उनके एंड से ये फास्टेस्ट सेंचुरी देखी है, जो डेफिनेटली काफी टाइम तक हम सबको याद रहने वाली है. और ये है आज का लास्ट ट्वीट. हॉटस्टार यूएस शिप पीक्ड एट 2.4 crore when Rohit Sharma scored century. The craze of Rohit Sharma in this country. We all know what kind of a player he is already. प्रत्यय सब कुछ डिस्कस हो चुका है आज के मैच के बारे में. अब प्रिपरेशंस की बारी है अगले मैच की, विच इज द हाई वोल्टेज मैच. क्योंकि हमें यहाँ पर तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए, सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक जीत चाहिए, और इससे कम हम कुछ नहीं ले सकते. एज इंडियन फैंस आई एम ऑल सेट फॉर दिस, बट यू टेल मी व्हाट वी शुड बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर. लाइक इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान in Ahmedabad, 1 lakh people sitting in the stadium, crowd cheering, people are making noises, even fielders, मुझे नहीं लगता वो आपस में कुछ communicate भी कर पाएंगे. But what are we going to witness? What are we really going to expect out of this clash? Is it going to be a 50-50 clash, or is it going to be a completely dominance show by one team, which I don't want to be the other team, but definitely what exactly are we going to expect?
See, I think I will say advantage India, because the manner in which India have won the 2 games so far. I'm not counting out Pakistan at any cost, because you will always do that at your own peril. And lest we forget what they did against Sri Lanka yesterday, the manner in which they have batted, dropping out Fakhar Zaman, I think slightly harsh call, of course, because Fakhar is a match winner in himself. But I still feel, we saw what Abdullah Shafiq did. Mohammad Rizwan has been in good form. Babar Azam, yes, he got out cheaply yesterday, but on his day, and he is an ODI legend already. Very young into his career, he has shown a lot of promise. So it's a side which has a lot of potential, no doubt. But where I think things are not really turning up for Pakistan right now is that the pace attack hasn't really looked that threatening to me personally. And part of it is also down to the fact that they don't have Naseem Shah. He could have been a real threat on these kind of tracks, and the pace that which he brings in, young legs, fast and furious bowler. I think he really would have been a handy proposition in the unit. But really, you can't really control anything, because unfortunate injury had to be ruled out. Hassan Ali has been good, no doubt, but he does not really look like the kind of replacement you will have. I won't term him a like for like replacement for someone like a Naseem. So I think overall the pace attack has looked slightly less threatening than what we know it to be, because even Shaheen Afridi, I think Pakistan is really too heavily reliant on him. If he does not get you the wickets in the power play, suddenly you will start to see things going haywire. Because see, still even with Hassan Ali, Haris Rauf, and Shaheen, this is an attack which is as good as any. But you have an over reliance on Shaheen, and the pressure has now increased on him to perform in the absence of Naseem Shah. So I think the key battle would be India's top order versus Pakistan's new ball bowlers, if India is able to see them off, because that is where I think most of the games for India in these tournaments are made. 2019 World Cup semi-final against New Zealand, or the match that India went on to lose against Pakistan in 2021 T20 World Cup by 10 wickets, one of the biggest losses for them. All those games you will see, or even the Champions Trophy for that matter in 2017, all these games will have a common theme that, a top order misfired. And it's good. It's really good that, in the previous game against Australia, when a similar kind of a thing repeated, it was very heartening to see as an Indian fan that for once the script changed. This time, instead of losing out, you ended up coming out victorious. And that was thanks to 2 things. Of course, the manner in which KL and Kohli batted. And secondly, the target wasn't really too big. 200 runs is not a lot of runs. So India did still have the luxury of, losing a few wickets and still going on to win the match. In Ahmedabad, which is a true surface, which rewards the batters, it is not going to be anything even close to what we saw in Chennai. So on that kind of a surface, I think there will be runs on offer aplenty. and I don't think that India would be able to afford a collapse. So I think that way India will have to be definitely careful, because all the players, you will always hear them saying that we don't think of Pakistan as any different opposition. We don't think about the game as another different game. We just take it as another team. But no matter what, if you know that you're playing in that stadium in front of 1,20,000 people, and the entire country's eyes are on you, you
Yeah.
will feel the pressure. No matter what, you will feel the pressure. At least before the game, you will. Maybe once you go inside the stadium, played 5 overs, then the nerves can calm down. But the pressure
Yeah.
is going to be definitely on. But I still feel that India is slightly advantageous position, because playing in front of the home support at your ground, and Ahmedabad has been a very it has been a happy hunting ground for them. But I will also be interested in seeing whether we have Shubman Gill or not, because he has had a sensational year, and it is
Hmm.
at that venue where he has scored most of his runs in 2023. A Test
Hmm.
century, a T20I century, an ODI century, a double century. He has been in sensational form, and he has a penchant of scoring runs in Ahmedabad. So if he becomes fit, then I think it would be an even bigger boost for India. So yeah,
Correct.
it's one of the most exciting games, and everyone is looking forward to it. I think 14th October, we have been hearing it all along, and I think yeah, it's only 2-3 days away now. So of course, a big game to watch out for.
डेफिनेटली एंड हम सभी इस गेम का काफ़ी बेसब्री से इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं जिस तरीके से इंडिया और पाकिस्तान एक दूसरे का आमना सामना करेंगे बट सिंस ये गेम आज अफगानिस्तान हार चुकी है प्रत्यय और इनका अगला मुकाबला अक्टूबर 15 को इंग्लैंड से होगा सो आई एम डैम श्योर कि बिफोर गोइंग टू दैट गेम दे मस्ट बी सिटिंग एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट what the problems and where they have missed this match actually. So would you like to tell them what exactly was the issue with Afghanistan, where exactly they need to work upon? I think captaincy is one thing because as you rightly mentioned that they have missed out on some during the bowling time, they have missed out on using Rashid Khan early because the score was not that big. Other than that, what else they can really improve before going to the England versus Afghanistan on 15th of October?
See, definitely going against England, it's going to be a big game again. Every game in World Cup holds some significance, and the manner in which England play their cricket, because they are always aggressive. So I think that it will be a great kind of a clash to see, because Afghanistan spinners don't have a problem. Mujib, Rashid, Nabi, all of these are very quality spinners. I think what they need to do, Fazlak Farooqi, again, he is someone who will give you wickets in the power play. Naveen Ullah can be a decent operator as well. I think the batting has to step up a little bit, because bowling overall has looked good. Even the all rounders have come good. Nabi on his day, we saw, he is someone who can tonk the ball. He played a blinder of a knock in the Asia Cup as well. So overall, lower down the order, and in the bowling, the things look set. It is the
Hmm.
batting which has to fire a little bit, because more often than not, what we have seen is that they are slightly over reliant on their openers and the top order. So if Zadran and Gurbaz fail, then the middle order either does not give you runs, or if they give, like they did today, Hashmatullah Shahidi and Omar Zai, they do not give you runs at the pace at which you need them. Because I feel that the strike rate was a bit of an issue. The knocks were no doubt solid, 62 for Omar Zai, 80 for Shahidi. They looked really, really settled. But I think it
Hmm.
was important for them to play a little bit quicker, perhaps show a little bit more intent, try to target a few balls, because they played too many dot balls. So strike rotation is one thing they can definitely look to work upon. I think that is one aspect which their batting has missed, not just in the World Cup but since very long. And I think that can actually make a lot of difference, because see what happens in these kind of games is that in 50 overs cricket, the importance of singles and doubles increases that much more, because in T20 cricket you can still afford, that you can hit 5 or 6 boundaries and you can make up for it. But in ODI cricket, perhaps you don't feel the need to hit those many boundaries at times, and if you're not rotating the strike, you end up playing too many dot balls. So that is a wastage of resource. I think that is one area where they need to work upon. But I think one positive that they will still take from this game is the fact that middle order came to the party today, and they did not rely too much on the openers, because both of them were out in I think in 20s. So they did get the starts, but they did not really convert it. So the partnership, and in between that partnership, that 120 odd that they added, they really played good cricketing shots. They looked well set, and they did challenge the bowlers, the Indian bowlers. So I think they have the potential, but it's about translating it a little bit more well, showing a little bit more scoring intent. If they can do that, I still think that Afghanistan can win. They can definitely win a few matches. See, no one is backing them to perhaps qualify for a semi-final, and I
Yeah.
think that is that is good in a way, because when you don't have the burden of expectations and when you don't have anything to lose, you can be that much more fearless, you can be that much more expressive. So I think in that regard, Afghanistan don't have too much to lose, because see, no one is expecting them to win the World Cup. They are not in. Whenever you're talking about the top four predictions, no one is naming Afghanistan. So you don't have a lot of pressure or burden over your shoulders. So what you have to do is you have to just play your best cricket, and they have a host of match winners. There's no doubt about the potential, because Afghanistan, in the last 7, 8 odd years, whenever since they have started playing their cricket, they have really become a force to reckon with, and they have improved by a hell margin. So I think this is definitely a side which can definitely win a few games, but it's about doing those things right and playing as a team. Because if you rely on 2, 3 individuals, 1 or 2 games could be won that way. But if you have to win tournaments, if you have to go a long way in the tournaments, then you have to have players who will step up on different days. And I think that is where Afghanistan have been lacking a little bit. So I think they will definitely want to look and iron out these things. And if they can, then definitely you can see some unlikely results coming our way as well.
जाते जाते हमारे पास एक क्वेश्चन आया है फ्रॉम अ वेरी ग्रेट फ्रेंड ऑफ अस. दिस इज प्रतीक भट्ट आस्किंग प्रत्यय, as has been the case in the previous ICC tournaments, do you fear India peaking too early? Well, this is something which definitely it's must be back of the mind of every cricket fan, Indian cricket fan, because we all know sometimes India shows some great signs, and we have had all kinds of heartbreaks. We all know, so that's why we have everything in back of the mind. But do you also see this is something like India might be showing like peaking too early, and it might end up not that great, maybe, or it is just something that India is too good to be true right now, and we are definitely ready for this trophy?
See, I hear what Pratik is saying, no doubt, because see, in tournaments like these, of course, you want to gather steam, and you don't want to run out of steam. So India are gathering the steam. I think they were thoroughly challenged in Chennai against Australia, no doubt about that. Today, I won't say that this was a lesser opposition. Like I said, Afghanistan is a quality team now. So I don't even brand their wins upsets anymore, because it is not an upset. Today, I think they weren't really able to challenge India that much. But as far as speaking is concerned, see, you have to win games no matter which way you win. And you would rather not want to lose the starting games. You would want to win every single game. See, the most ideal scenario is that you go on to win each and every game, lift the trophy, simple as that. Although easier said than done. But I think that, in tournaments like these, the World Cup, the margin of error is not very high. And if you lose at the start, then you towards the end of the tournament, you have that much lesser to work your way around. So it is good that India is winning the matches at the start, because on an odd day you will see something will go wrong, something unexpected will happen, a collapse, something, a player might just go out of injury. Because of that, your balance gets upset, all sorts of things. It's a long tournament, 45, 50 odd days, so you really can't control every single thing. So it is good. See, if an opportunity is coming your way, try to seize that as well as you can. As for the World Cup is concerned, see, I think Australia, England, and New Zealand, these three are undoubtedly the biggest threats that India has to face. Australia challenge has been done, not very convincingly, but see, I feel that as long as you're winning those 2 points, it does not matter how you won it. If you're winning the 2 points, that's it. The deal is set. So if you're winning it by 1 run, if you're winning it by 100 runs, if you're winning it by 1 wicket, or you're winning it by 10 wickets, it does not matter. So I think one challenge is off, and I genuinely feel that if India win against New Zealand, England, and Australia, the for me they will have really a great chance to win the World Cup, because these three are the teams which I really feel are extremely challenging for them. Other teams, of course, no one is underestimating them, but these three are your biggest challenges. So I think it's a very good start that India have made, and it's an important box that they have ticked, because they have defeated Australia, because it's
Yeah.
definitely 5-time champions. It's a side that you can never take lightly, no matter, you will be talking about that they lost the series in before the World Cup. They
Yeah.
saw an upturn of 2-0 into 3-2 against South Africa, all sorts of things. But when it comes to these kind of tournaments, this that is a side which will always come up and deliver. So I think it's a big box ticked. Pakistan is another game, for different reasons it has its own pressure. But I still think that India have to be on top of their game in every single game, and peaking on the right time, peaking at the right or at the wrong time. What is important at the end of the day is that you have to win enough number of games to qualify for the semifinals. If you are doing
Yeah.
that, all of this won't really make a lot of difference. So I think that whatever India is doing, I just want them to continue doing that, and hopefully qualify for the semi-finals and the final as well, and then of course go on to lift the cup.
Chale, hopefully we have talked about all the points and updates regarding this particular match. Now the next is we're going to make a comeback for the next match and discuss all about it. Thank you so much, Pratyay, for joining me, and everyone who was listening to this show. Keep watching CricTrackers in the Air show.